Hey, Doug Greathouse here, your host of the Entrepreneur Journey podcast. And before we get into yet another amazing interview with an incredible entrepreneur where they share their secrets of success, their story, I wanted to tell you about the Profitable Business Program. It is a program that I've put together in conjunction with Jason Webb over at the Profitable Salesman. And it is a program if you are a course creator, a coach, or an entrepreneur looking to raise your monthly revenue in as little as 6 weeks. So I don't think there's too many people that wouldn't like to do that. So I'm going to quickly put up the roadmap right here. So you can check out some of the modules. We cover everything from goal setting so you can hit your goals much faster than you ever thought possible with the strategies that we give you, creating a magnetic offer that pulls the clients to you, marketing momentum where we pack in a lot of marketing strategy as well as done for you content. We do done for you email automations, done for you sales scripts, done for you lead magnets. And in addition to that, the profit pipeline, that's where we build 2 proven high converting funnels for you. All this within 6 weeks. After that, we teach you where to get and show you the strategies to get the traffic through the traffic flow system, both organic and paid strategies. We cover those. And in the Revenue Rocket, Jason takes you through how to properly close sales, to the presentation, to the close, to how to handle objections. That's a masterclass in sales. And then last but not least, we're helping you pull in all these clients, right? How do you keep them? So the Success Amplifier is about scaling and also about client retention. So we cover that in the last module. So if you're interested in learning more about this, the link is below. All right, it looks like we are live inside of the Profitable Christian Entrepreneurs Group, and I am so happy to have with me today Marshall Lowy of Certain Pay. Marshall, I met you I think it's been a few weeks, probably a couple months now, actually. So we are mutual friends of Jason Webb, and I was like, I got to get Marshall on the podcast. So glad to have you here. Marshall, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am located in Central Texas, just north of Houston in College Station, Texas. I was actually born and raised here. Went to A&M after that, and then did a lot of traveling. So I've lived all around the U.S., Dallas, Tennessee, Ohio, and I've actually lived for 9 months in New Zealand. So I did some traveling after college, and then I ended up back home and started Certain Pay about 4 years ago, 2019.
Wow. So there are some questions that I did not know I was going to ask you that I'm about to ask you. So we like to kick it off with some getting to know you questions so the audience can get to know more than just your business, but know about you. So based on that, what you just said about all the places that you have been or lived, what is your favorite place?
My favorite place is where I am.
Oh, nice.
So it's a hard question. I think everywhere had the good and the bad. I mean, some places had more of the bad. I feel like when I get too far up north, I start to get really cold. So I prefer to be like in a warmer climate. So South Texas is good for me. When I was up in Ohio, it just started to get cold, so I didn't prefer that too much. Actually, Tennessee got pretty cold too. So I actually have found that I prefer the warmer climates. And New Zealand actually got cold, but it actually was warm for most of the year. So my favorite and the most memories would be New Zealand for sure. I mean, with the scenery and everything that it brought. And I was 25 and traveling with a backpack and all the excitement that I remember from it. That was actually probably, if you had to peg me down, that'd be my favorite place that I've lived.
So New Zealand was where Lord of the Rings was filmed. So I just have a funny question for you. So I noticed in your headshot you sent me, you have short hair, but now you have longer hair. Is it because you're trying to be more like a Lord of the Rings character?
Yes, that's exactly why.
Nice.
No, that's the last time I did a professional picture, and so that's what I had. But then I started growing my hair out probably like a year and a half. Well, close to 2 years ago. And so I actually last year I had to take some time away from business, and I actually got really sick and really ill. And I got really spiritual and got closer to God, and I feel like, it's kind of just letting it flow. You know what I mean? That's
Nice,
that's
nice.
that's the season that I'm in, is just letting it ride. This is the longest it's ever been. I don't know if you guys can see it very well on Zoom, but I'm just letting it ride. That's the season I'm in.
Well, I'm a little envious. In when I was younger and had hair, I had hair that came down to my collar. So
Oh, did you?
yeah, yeah, I did. So it was good while it lasted. Let's just put it that way.
I'm like trying to just grow it while I can. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what I keep
yeah,
telling people. I just want to, because I can. I'm almost
yeah.
40, 39, so
That,
might as well grow it out while I can before it turns all gray.
that's right. That's right. So going back to saying you are in where it is in Texas, College Station. So
College
you're
Station.
right. You went to Texas A&M. You're at College Station. So you're a Texas A&M football fan.
Yeah, I am. I am.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about Jimbo Fisher so far?
Uh, Pretty positive. When I say I'm a fan, I'm not like a diehard,
Mm,
football guy. I've actually leaned more towards tennis. So, to be honest,
okay.
but, for A&M, he's kept us in that very competitive SEC, playing field, and we managed to be right in the smack dab in the middle. So,
Nice.
with coaching and the college level, especially, it's a lot more about like what we don't see. So I
Mm,
try to take some lessons from those college coaches, and a lot of their job is about recruiting, and so there's a lot of similarities in what they do into what I do, and so I like to look at the similarities. It's hard to say, have an opinion about somebody if I don't know them face to
hmm.
face, and so I don't want to say a lot of things about Jimbo. He looks like a nice guy. He looks like he's running a good program. We could always do a little bit better, but we got Alabama and LSU to
That's
face
right.
every other week, so
That's
it's a
right.
tough conference. He's doing his best, so I admire his work.
Yeah, you brought up a very good point. So quick, people are so quick to judge just based on what they see in the news on on the field, right? They have no idea what's going on behind the scenes
Yeah,
with a program. So yeah, I'm a Clemson fan, and we're down, and they're getting so much flack right now. So
yeah.
so yeah, I actually just, and I don't want to make this a football podcast, but I'm a little bit into football. I
Yes,
was
you
a
do. Come on. Yeah,
I
you
was a
do.
I was a Florida State fan up until Jameis Winston,
Uh-huh.
because I felt that was so far away from Bobby Bowden. Like, that's the era I grew up in, right? It was Bobby
Yeah.
Bowden. He kept the players for the most point on point, but Jameis Winston, they kind of like do whatever he wanted to do.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm just not a fan of the culture anymore. And I don't really think Jimbo had much to. I actually don't think Jimbo had much influence there. I think it was other things, right? Talk about behind the scenes. I don't think that was a lot about Jimbo. I think it was about other people. So, yeah.
Right.
But now, been in upstate of South Carolina for a long time. Big Dabo Sweeney fan. Clemson. He has the culture the right way. That's kind of why I gravitated towards that. Plus, they're local. So, yeah.
He is on a full out sprint at the beginning of those games. Did you see him?
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
incredible. I thought he was going to fall, but I was hoping that he wouldn't.
Yep. Yep. Well, he used to be a wide receiver for Alabama. So,
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's fast. You could
yeah.
tell. Got a
Yeah.
little extra weight, but he was
Yep.
fast.
Yep. Yep. All right. So my next question is, being in Texas, I'm sure there's a lot of really cool things to do. What are some of your favorite non-business things to do?
Well, in the season of my life, it's pretty simple. So if I'm not working, I'm spending time outdoors with my lovely girlfriend Crystal, and we like to just kind of cruise around close to, like, in Texas. We kind of go towards the hills, and we just go picnic and enjoy each other's company. We find a lake or some source of water, some hill country, and relax. And so if I'm not working and doing the things that to grow certain pay, that's what we're doing. So we're outside with the dogs. We got 2 dogs. We love playing outside with them, and going out to eat here and there, and keep it pretty simple nowadays. And
Nice.
especially with me coming out of this this sickness that I had, I've had to keep it pretty simple, and looking forward to doing more. I was a big Olympic weightlifter before
Wow.
I got all this. Yeah, so I was pretty competitive in Olympic weightlifting. So I did that for a long time. Built up some good strength, and I had a lot of people that I coached in that world, and that's something I would love to get back into. But this, like I said, I'm recuperating my body, and my body's getting back, and I lost a significant amount of weight last year, and I'm trying to just get everything back, and thanking God that I could come back and be able to actually do these little things that I'm doing right now. I'm super grateful for. And then I know that with this faith, I'll be able to do those things that I had been doing before.
Wow, that is super cool. I love seeing people on the rebound when they've gone through something difficult. So yeah, that's super cool. And we might get into that a little bit more when you start telling your story. So you just mentioned you have a girlfriend, and her name is Crystal, and she's been on a couple of our Entrepreneur Connects with us. And she is also an entrepreneur. So tell me what it's like to be in a household or in a relationship with another entrepreneur.
Well, let me tell you a little story. How, when we first met, I've been an entrepreneur since 2019 officially, but I started in credit card processing in 2014. So close to 10 years now. It's kind of in my blood, and how I think, and what I'm doing. But she was actually in the corporate world with selling IT. So she sold the VoIP systems, the Microsoft stuff,
Wow.
to and internet to other businesses. And she was in that when we first met. And I shared a book with her. I said, this book will help you, because she was getting torn in several different directions. People would be asking her to do this, asking her to meet her quota on sales, and then doing something totally different from sales. And I shared a book called Essentialism. I don't know if you've heard of that one, where
Have
it
not.
really hones you in and gets you to focus on the one or two things throughout the day. And if you can get those done, and then it's also about boundaries, setting boundaries, and making sure that these people aren't taking your time, and you're cherishing that and making sure you're getting your things done. Not 20 things, you need to get 2 things done right, And so that's what that book was all about. But after she read it, within, I guess, 2 or 3 days, she said, I quit my job. I
Wow.
quit my job. I was like, no, that wasn't, I mean,
Yeah.
it's ended up very good for us.
Yeah.
But it was what I usually like to tell people, if they're going to start their own thing, is to have a backup, or have a nest egg or something like that. But to each their own. Somebody, she wanted to just totally quit and say, I want to go 100% into this. And she was already doing her blog for a long time on the side. And so I think it kind of pushed her into doing her own thing 100%, and I love it. So it has helped us a ton. We spend a lot more time together, both being entrepreneurs. So we both talk about how to grow certain pace. She's been an integral part in helping there, and then I love helping her on her side. So she does the marketing. It's a little bit different than a traditional marketer, because she has a big following on Instagram, where she can put your business integrated into her following, get some traction there, and then also take over their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all that, and do like these reels. And she does amazing work. She's an amazing person.
Wow. Nice. Yeah, so she's really probably heavily into the way to do influencer marketing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Nice.
So each rung you come up, like on your followings on Instagram, you get certain Instagram opens up doors for you. So if you hit that 6,000 mark, 5,000 mark, and then 10,000, I think there's another bump that you get. And so when you talk about influencer marketing, they have a lot more tools in their toolbox than a regular person on Instagram has.
Yeah.
So a lot of business building tools that they have.
Yeah. That is not one thing that we typically do with our marketing, but I like to have a resource. So I'm glad that we know each other, and I know Crystal, so I can send people that way, because there are a lot of people that I know that could benefit from that type of service. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, we'd appreciate that. That'd be great.
yeah, so that's really cool, having two entrepreneurs that can kind of bounce ideas off of each other, like right there, right? So that's awesome. This is one of my favorite parts of the interview. It's called the fill in the blank question, and I ask the entrepreneur each one a different fill in the blank question. I haven't repeated one yet that I know of. Yours is, one of the most valuable lessons I've learned as an entrepreneur is that blank.
Keep going.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You gotta keep going. You know, no matter like where you're at, in the beginning it's really hard, and then even in the middle it gets. There's no real easy where you take your foot off the gas type thing with entrepreneurship. Maybe eventually, like that, when you hire a dynamite person and they're very trustworthy, but that's years down the road. But there's going to be setbacks, every single day. What's happening around the world, and the worry about the banks. And I'm big in the bank world with Certain Pace. We rely on them to do the credit card processing. So if the big banks shut down, then what are we going to do? And so we have to have a pivot, or we have to have a backup plan. But you always got to remember what you put, that work that you put in, those years of work. If you quit, you might as well have just flushed away down the toilet. So I always remind myself, today's a new day, to keep going, have faith. Even if you think that marketing is not working, it is. It is. And you're going to get a random call, which is not so random because you did all that work, getting yourself out there, going to the networking events, doing podcasts. And so as I'm coming back online, I say, like, I took most of the year, all the year off 2022, and then half the year off in 2023. And I'm back, getting my face out there, and then through this networking stuff, I mean, we've been hammering that referral partner group. So like, we didn't get any traction on it in the beginning, keep going. We didn't get any traction, keep going. And that boom, or that whoosh is coming. I've experienced it before with Certain Pay. And so I know that work that you're doing, and I experienced it in the weightlifting world, where you're stuck at a certain weight for forever, it seems like, and then that whoosh happens where you're like, oh, okay, my arm like this. I did snatch, clean, and jerk. So it's very dynamic lifts where you have to catch it overhead and stand it up, and so kind of gets in your head, and every other day is real different. You have your good and your bad days, but totally keep going. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. At the end of every podcast, I say keep moving forward, because just like you said, you put all that work in up till now, right? And there are seasons in entrepreneurship, and I feel like entrepreneurs need tension, right? It's not, if we don't have tension, I think we'll probably feel like something's wrong, right? There's got to be some kind of tension, even when we feel like we're in the on the top of the roller coaster, right? There's still some tension there, because it's just the name of the game, right? And I think it makes us feel alive. So,
well, I'll tell you, I've been closer to the top before as well, and there's less tension, and so that it still comes into play. Like, keep going, because you might be jaded or bored with what you're doing, which I was there before too.
Yeah.
Just keep going, push past that jadedness, or you're going to find something that's going to spark it again. Somehow find that spark, and whatever, season. I love that. So whatever season you're in entrepreneurship, you really just got to keep going.
Yeah. Even at the, like when you're at the top, right? So you got to find that, what I mean by tension, like still find that tension. You feel like you probably still need a challenge, right? So you want to create that tension if you don't have it, because you're like, I need a new challenge, right?
Yep.
So
create the tension. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, because if there's not tension, you're not growing. I know you know that from the bodybuilding world, right?
Right. Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta put on a little bit of weight every week, not on your body. I mean, on the bar.
Yeah.
Just to get stronger. So, do you want to get stronger? Or do you want to stay the same?
Yeah.
Gotta ask yourself that. And yes, you're right. Tension is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So now let's dive into your story because you've alluded to some of it already. So kind of talk, I think you said you started Certain Pay at 2019. Was that the beginning of your entrepreneur journey entirely, or was there something before that? Just kind of walk us through the roller coaster, if you will, any ups and downs that you want to tell us about, and just kind of your story.
Yeah, I'd love to. So Certain Pay was actually, technically not my first venture. And so I think with a lot of entrepreneurs, there are some failures, and I've definitely had mine. And so I was big in the fitness world. I was in CrossFit. I had group classes. I did personal training, and I also coached teams. So I coached the rugby. There was rugby. I was big influence in rugby, so I'd coach them on their strength and conditioning. So I had teams that I would coach them there. But my entrepreneur journey, I mean, it kind of started, my brother had a gym out of the garage, and I came in and started running that myself. And so I started to see, like, okay, we got these clients coming in, and they're relying on me to get this done. And that it was partly owned by him. And so technically I didn't feel like it was my own. And so I had wanted to venture off on my own. And my first venture, I would say officially, would be like the online space. And so I got big into just reading blogs, and I got big into, that freedom, living the laptop lifestyle, right? And so I started reading these books, and how to do the online space. And I learned a ton, but it totally completely flopped. And so I had this weight loss thing. It was all about paleo. So I'm big on paleo weight loss, and I called it the final 10 pounds. It was really just a really good diet to follow for 30 days. And then I wanted people to continue that for, have them find some recipes that are sustainable, and then really cook those over and over, and try to get them to get those lasting results. And so I did this ebook. It was called The Final 10 Pounds. And it completely flopped. I mean, I was just giving it away, and it was like $10 on the internet. And I just, I had the squeeze page, I had everything. But like I was saying, I think on another call, was that maybe you're just a couple of clicks off. And I really feel like I was a couple of words off, or a couple of like videos I could have done to get traffic to that website. There was something that I wasn't doing that made it completely flop. And I think it got into my head. And so I got into my own head and thinking, I can't do this online stuff. I quit. I don't need to do it. Bye-bye. And that led me into, I wanted to get into the personal one-on-one face-to-face space. And so I started a boot camp. I got some money lent to me from a family member, and I started this boot camp, and that completely flopped. And it was a really good learning experience looking back at it. It was very scarring when you're going through it. But starting that boot camp, not having another job or another nest egg or something to back it up, I thought, I'm going to put out flyers. I'm going to get this Facebook group, and we're going to be the Hill Country Boot Camp, and people are just going to come. And that wasn't the case. I got a couple of my friends to come. They weren't paying me anything. It was for free. And then, I got, I was working on getting a girl in a sorority group, and she was kind of spacey and not really there. But I don't think people understand that, it was my lifeblood. It was like, okay, I'm running out of money. I need to make this happen, or I need to go get a job.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge learning experience for me that really helped me in Certain Pay push past some barriers that, I got the understanding. And what I did learn from that, thank you, God. What I did learn from it is that it takes time. No matter, like, even if you're doing the right thing, you have these success stories. It looks like an overnight story, but it really is not. You have to weather that. With any business, when you're trying to get traction, you're trying to get yourself known, you do have to maybe offer those discounts. You have to offer some things for free. You really need to get that word of mouth going for an extended amount of time, especially with a boot camp. People need to start talking about it. People need to see results. And so if you don't have those results already there, you're pulling on freebies, and then I ran out of money and I had to go get a job, and with my tail between my legs, and that was a tough lesson, but like I said, it shaped me to be able to have the confidence to start Certain Pay, and then knowing I'm not doing that again, right? I'm not going to get a loan from my family member. I would say there's nothing wrong with that, but there is a lot of things wrong with getting money from a family member. It kind of makes the relationship a little bit different, and then especially makes it different if it's hard for you to pay it back over time. So
even if they don't, not to interrupt you, but even if they don't necessarily feel it, you feel it, right?
Right.
And it's something that carries weight on you, even if they act like it's not a weight to them, it's still a weight to you.
Right. So it's, it was a lot of money that looking back on it, I would have done a lot different. But like I said, with Certain Pay, I did it a lot different. So I had started selling merchant processing in 2014, built up a good book of business to be able to sustain myself with residual income. And so that's what we are all about at Certain Pay, and helping people get out of their 9-to-5. Residual income is going to save your life. It kind of did save my life in a sense. I had that backup. I had that money coming in already, where I was able to make those moves for Certain Pay that you have to make. Like, as a business owner, you got to make moves. You got to take chances, take risks.
Yeah.
It takes money a lot of times to get out there and start doing things, and then also, if you don't have that nest egg, your sleepless nights are just going to be 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I still had sleepless nights, but they're just going to be worse if you don't have that nest egg or money in the bank.
Yeah, you can have strategy with no money, but strategy works a lot better when you have money. You can make certain decisions when you have some money to put towards those decisions.
Right.
Because usually the less cost way is the long way, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah. Right. The least. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the best way sometimes, but kind of looking back on it, maybe there's a few areas where, 25 grand would have really helped us leapfrog. Sometimes it'll help you leapfrog over where you could have been. So.
Yeah, I agree. If sometimes the shortcut is not what you need, you don't, because you need to learn the lessons that will help you stay where you're going, right?
Right.
Which I say be wary sometimes of the overnight successes, because they may be at the top now, but there's some lessons that they missed that are going to interrupt their journey, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old wise dogs looking back at the young bucks, Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
All right. So one more question about your journey. So you went basically from learning the trade, right? Like you got a job in the industry, and then you turned that into an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship. That's really a smart way to go, because your employer is basically funding your education into entrepreneurship, right?
For sure. Yeah. And I had a tremendous sales manager. So he really taught me the business the right way, and how to get referrals, and how to, go about your business and earn that. He was all about earning that respect. You really got to go in there and really show them a good solution that really helps their business. And then you almost don't need to ask for referrals after that.
Yeah. I'd like to take that kind of wisdom right now, and anyone that is thinking new to entrepreneurship, right? Or they're very young and they're thinking, I want to just go out there and be an entrepreneur. The answer might actually be to first go get a job in the field that you want to be an entrepreneur in, right? Because then you get it's kind of like going to college and majoring in something. How many times do people change their major, right? Okay, I really didn't want to do that, right? You might get into a certain job and say, okay, I would not want to do this as a business, right? But then on the flip side, you could get into it and say, oh, this is exactly what I want to do, right?
Right.
So.
Right. It's nothing but a learning experience,
Yep. Awesome. So let's dive into your expertise a little bit. Now, I'm going to start this with a very big question. What is this? This is the secret question that I ask every entrepreneur, and yours is a huge one. So what is the secret to business?
Secret to business. I was thinking about that question, what is the secret to business? And, I was thinking about a lot of the characters in credit card processing, my world, where you would do something that is not so morally and ethically right,
Mm,
and you would say that it's just business.
mm,
So my contention is that it's not just business. It's
right.
your life.
That's right.
It's who you are. That is business. I mean, I can't, get myself to. Sorry, the lighting. I feel like the lighting just got really dark in here. I'm sorry
Yeah,
about that.
it's all right.
Something else. All right, can
Oh,
you see
that's
me a little
better.
better?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay, thank
better.
God. All right, so yeah, on that train of thought, it's your life. It's not just business. So if you're doing things that are against your morals or against what God would say, and calling it just business, I don't see the separation anymore. I think people a lot of times they try to just separate it out and say that it's business, but I feel like that is just a lie, that you're telling yourself to be able to do the shady things that you want to do to make more money. But what's the point?
Yeah.
I never saw the point in that.
You're not going to feel whole at the end of the day. It just makes you reference what's on top of my head, right? The book that Marie Renee wrote about making God number one in your business, aligning my pen just flew off. So there you're lighting, my pen's flying off. Aligning your faith and business, right? Because if you don't feel aligned, I don't see how you can operate like and still like not be feel what's the word I'm looking for? Feel bad about it, right? Like
Right.
if you're a Christian, I mean, I don't see how you can not have a conscience. You're with God weighing on you about what you're doing if you're not doing it the right way. So
Yeah, and so that weighs into everything I do now. The partners that I have, even the clients that I take on. If there's shady things, or you want to kick back, or there's just certain things that come up, and lately I've just had a really hard line on it where it's not how we do business. You might be able to get that somewhere else, but we stay above board and we do the right thing by people, and that's really where I'm at. And so, I mean, the secret to business is that it's not just business.
that's right. That's right. That is awesome. Okay, now let's get a little bit more in depth with actually what Certain Pay does. So can you explain in simple terms how Certain Pay, the point of sale systems work and how they benefit businesses?
Sure. So the point of sale systems are a pretty in-depth system where you see those terminals. So one of our terminals you might actually see a lot is called the Clover terminal, and so it is it has a dual facing screen where it has that screen that faces the owner, and then the screen that faces the customer. And so the customer puts their credit card in and then signs with their finger. And so that's the technology that we sell. Like our flagship point of sale system is the Clover, and then we also sell a system called the ExaTouch. So a lot of things go into that system. It's almost like the lifeblood of your business, right? So it does the time logging for your employees. It does gift cards. If you're issuing out gift cards, that's where they're plugged into the system. It does a lot of marketing through that system, and so we share our little marketing tools where, let's say you're a coffee shop, you buy one get one free today. You don't have to do the stamp card anymore. You can have your gift card, or we can read it off of your driver's license. Technology is getting a little bit better. So I was around when we were having the stamp cards or whatever.
I think I have one in my wallet still.
You do? Yeah, one of those. I love them. Yeah, I love it. There's something about that though. Seeing like, oh, I got all the stamps, I got all the holes, I get a freebie. But it's all digital now, and so it runs through that point of sale system. So I like to say it's kind of the lifeblood of their business. Now we have, if you don't want that whole system, we have terminals that are a complete point of sale system in themselves. And so we have the lesser price point, but it has all the capabilities of point of sale. But then also what we have now is you can get that terminal, and then you can also have an invoicing capability tied into that terminal. So you don't necessarily have to choose only the terminal or the gateway. We have all the gateway plugged in. Valor terminals are coming through in a big way, and then the Deja Vu also has that as well. So it's starting to become just all tied in to one thing. We have all the price, we have the higher price points and we have the lower price points. And then what I was also talking about today was the gateway. So we use NMI gateway. It's the #1 gateway in the world. And so it has your invoicing capabilities, it has your text to pay. And I would say just the advantage of working with us is that Certain Pay has all the capabilities of the big guys. If you might think of the big guys like Square or Stripe or PayPal, the people that you have heard of. So we have all those capabilities. We'd love for you to look at our software suite and see what we have to offer and how it compares. But we're that small feel. We're the family-owned feel that we're going to take your call. We're going to help you one-on-one get your issue solved. And so, a lot of times when you're with Square, when you're dealing with money and deposits, it becomes a difficult thing, and it's a very touchy subject, because if they don't get back to you, a certain amount of time, and you're waiting for your money, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, and we're going to at least pick up the phone and tell you if we know where it is. I think the most important thing that I learned in credit card processing is just to put their mind at ease and just to let them know that we're on it. Like, whatever the issue is that we are working on it. We might not get it done today, but we have it in the queue and we are working on your issue. And then I think that gives people the peace of mind to keep going. If you're dealing with an issue with Square and they haven't gotten back to you within a certain amount of time, it just becomes tough.
A couple questions that came to mind. So is one of the things you offer really portable, like the kind that you see like a server take to a table, or things like that? You also offer those type of things?
We have the portable, the Clover Flex.
Oh, nice.
Gives us that capability. And then the wireless terminals, we have that on the Deja Vu and the Baylor. So
and a lot of the audience is online based. So I know that you offer integrations with different CRMs. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely, I would love to. So your sales site, we actually integrated with that system through our NMI gateway. So very seamless. We just need, we get you set up with a merchant account, and then we set you up with that NMI gateway. And then it's just 3 levels of it's like a certified token that we get, and we generate that, and then we plug it into NMI. So if you're using that CRM, we plug into a lot of CRMs. QuickBooks, we have a good integration with QuickBooks. So I know a lot of people out there are using QuickBooks. You might, the advantage of using us and integrating with that is that you get your money faster with QuickBooks. And then also it's that customer service that you can count on to make sure that we're working on those issues. And you have that, we're a phone call away instead of just an email. So the integration is a big piece of it. So like I said, we have that, like our flagship Clover and Exitouch that we love to sell. If you are looking at something different, we'll shop with you, and we can kind of go through. There's a website called POS Heroes, the Point of Sale Heroes, and they have every integration that you like. Just type in your line of business, type in restaurant, and they list out all the point of sale systems and all the integrations. And so that really helps us to go find a system that works best for you. So I think that we have like the good small and mid range, but if you're a little bit bigger, we'll shop around that point of sale system, because they can get up to 20 and 30 grand on the costs of those systems.
So I imagine you service a wide range of different types of clients, right? Whether they're online e-commerce, whether they're the mom and pop restaurants, you have the ability to service a wide range, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. So
so we have, let's see, what's our highest client, $500,000 a month to, 10,000 a month, or I think altogether this other guy does about $1 million a month. And so we have the capabilities to do that. So
awesome. Are there any other challenges other than the customer service that you can see that businesses face around credit card processing that you can help them with?
I think it's a matter of just finding that right solution, like a tailor-made solution.
Mhm.
We'll sit there and really, really come up with something that works best. So I saw a stat the other day that 37% of people picked the wrong system
Mm.
on that first one. So a lot of times what happens when you're opening a business, you got to get the plumbing, you got to get the things, you got to get the permits paid, and then it's 1 week from opening. Oh, I haven't even shopped around for point of sale system. I need to make this decision quick. And it's actually a decision that you should think and talk to a couple experts like ourselves, so hopefully choose certain pay. But we'd love to just talk to you about it and let you know that it is kind of the lifeblood of your operation when you open, and making sure you can get that right on the first one is kind of our goal. And like I said, I personally have 10 years experience of just seeing this happen, right? And so I can steer you in the right direction where, I was like, I saw a guy that was doing exactly what you were doing, and I recommended to do this, and this really helped him.
Wow.
You know, so if it
Nice.
comes down to that last minute decision, I really hate to see that when money kind of dries up a little bit. I just see it in people, and it puts us in a tough situation where we need to offer a discount, and we do have discounts, and we can offer help here and there, but we do not do the smoke and mirrors offers that you might see, free POS type stuff. If you do qualify, we can offer that, but a lot of times we're just going to be straightforward with our pricing.
Nice. And can anyone nationwide use your services?
Yes, we are
Nice.
nationwide. Yep.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. So if you have a business anywhere, look and reach out to Certain Pay if you have point of sale needs or processing needs. Even if you want to shop and change the one you're using now, they'll have that conversation with you, compare and contrast with your current provider, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big thing we do, is a free audit. And
Nice.
so I'll take a look at your whole scope of, of course, a lot of times you're shopping around for price, but I would like to take everything into account and say, like, we can help you on price. Of course, I know that's almost the point. You do want to cut costs, but you also want to have a system that's going to help you grow. And we do have those systems. And so offering you a system that's going to help you with gift cards and things like that are actually going to, and marketing built into the system,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to help your business grow. And so when we talk about price, that's where we might not be the cheapest option, but we're going to have those tools that are going to help you grow. We're going to always answer the phone, and we're going to be there. So
Nice. I just want to go back real quick to the stamp card, right? So what's the worst thing that can happen? You go into the coffee shop and you don't have your stamp card, and they have to give you a new one. You're starting all over. But that doesn't happen with your system.
No, sir. No, sir. You don't have to worry about those stamp cards.
It's like you probably were 2 away from getting a free coffee. Now you start all over.
Now you're SOL because you didn't go with Certain Pay.
That's right. Thank you, Marshall. This has been an awesome interview. I learned so much more about you. I think we're becoming even closer friends. So tell people, like, do you have anything to offer them? Where can they go to find out more about Certain Pay?
Yeah, our website is www.gocertainpay.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, actually, so you can find us everywhere. And what I'd like to offer is a free terminal if you qualify. So we offer a free terminal if you qualify, and then a free audit. And so it's totally free just to take a look at what we have. And no strings attached. I'll just say, if you're in a good deal, it's not my favorite thing to say, but I don't mind saying it. If you got a good deal, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, no harm in at least looking, right? Like, it may be like, wow, okay, this is much better. So
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no harm in looking, and twice a year there's rate increases. And so if you are not, doing an audit or having an expert look at it consistently, it could be a good idea to take a look. I did a free analysis for a guy not too long ago, and I spotted about $1,000 that I could knock off of their bottom line. So that could be you.
everyone would like to pocket another $1,000, I'm sure. So
yes, that's 24,000 a year.
yeah,
Like, put that in perspective.
yeah, so reach out to Marshall. We'll put the link to the website and some of your socials down below, so they can go and check that out. Any parting words for our entrepreneurs?
Other than what I already said,
Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going. It's gonna get tough. You gotta put you gotta do what scares you. I mean, pick one or two things that are scaring you right now. That's probably what you need to do to grow your business.
That is very good advice, because that is why a lot of businesses don't grow, is because people are unwilling to do the things that scare them, to get out of their comfort zone. And it's amazing what's on the other side when you do those type of things.
It really is.
So
it really is. It could be jumping on a podcast with you.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
So if you're watching this and you would want to share your story with other entrepreneurs, reach out to me and we'll have a conversation just like Marshall and I had. So until next time, entrepreneurs, keep moving forward.
Thank you, sir.